Hi guys, it's Miss Judy. Do you remember that last week was Pentecost? Did you have a chance to see the slideshow that had lots of photos of people from St. Barnabas with flames? If you didn't have a chance to see that slideshow yet, make sure you take a look. It's on the St. Barnabas YouTube channel, and see if you can recognize a lot of people in those photos. So last week was Pentecost. Let's take a look at our calendar and see where we're at this week. So here's our church calendar, and you can see that last week was our special Red Sunday of Pentecost. So let's click forward one Sunday, and now you can see that we are at the very beginning of a very long green season. And this long green season that comes after Pentecost is called the season after Pentecost. So we have the special day of Pentecost followed by the season after Pentecost. And we're at the very beginning. This season will last into the summer and into the fall until we get back up here to Advent, which gets us ready for Christmas. So we will be in the season after Pentecost for a long time. Now during the summer, we don't look at our church calendar every single week, but you can remember that we are in the same green season after Pentecost through the whole summer. So that's our church calendar. Today I want to look also at a regular calendar. So this is the calendar for June 2020, and this is today, Sunday, June 7th. And we have Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, June 11th is a special day. It is the feast of St. Barnabas. And St. Barnabas is the patron saint of our congregation. A patron saint is a saint that is chosen to be especially inspired by. And our congregation, St. Barnabas, was chosen to be our special inspiration. So in just a few days, on Thursday, June 11, will be the feast day of St. Barnabas. Now we learn about St. Barnabas in our Bible. So we've been learning about things that are written down for us in our history book, the book of Acts, the actions of the apostles. And when we're looking in the Bible, the first thing we need to think about is it the Old Testament or is it the New Testament? So if we want to read about the history of the first followers of Jesus and the beginning of the church, that's in the New Testament. And we've learned that the New Testament is organized, that it starts with the Gospels, Matthew, Mark, Luke, John, and then right after the Gospels is the book of Acts, the actions of the apostles. And that is the history book that Luke wrote. And it tells us about the first followers of Jesus and the beginning of the church. And that's where we've been learning about different people that we are the church with. And that's where we learn about Pentecost. And it's also where we learn about Barnabas, St. Barnabas. So I'm going to share with you some information about St. Barnabas. And on your screen, you're going to see some images, some icons, and a statue of St. Barnabas. And it just shows different ways that St. Barnabas has been depicted or shown. And I'm going to tell you some things about St. Barnabas, and you'll see those images. and then we'll come back together. Luke wrote a history book, The Acts of the Apostles, the Actions of the Apostles, and that's where we learn about St. Barnabas. St. Barnabas came from the island of Cyprus and was from the tribe of Levi. His name was Joseph, but he was given the name Barnabas, which means son of encouragement, because he was so encouraging. St. Barnabas was generous. He sold land that he owned and he gave the money to the apostles. St. Barnabas was the first person willing to trust Paul after his conversion, and St. Barnabas even vouched for Paul to the disciples. He told the disciples, "You can trust him." In Acts chapter 11, we read that Barnabas was a good man, full of the Holy Spirit and strong in faith. And we also learn that he was trusted and was sent to the growing church of Gentile believers in Antioch. St. Barnabas went to Tarsus and encouraged Paul to come teach with him in Antioch. St. Barnabas and Paul were entrusted to take a famine relief donation to Jerusalem. St. Barnabas was called to travel and teach others about Jesus. St. Barnabas and Paul traveled to many places, expanding the church. One time, the crowd decided that St. Barnabas must be the god they call Zeus. St. Barnabas is often shown holding a scroll or a book because he is said to have died while holding his copy of the Gospel of Matthew. St. Barnabas is an example of encouragement, generosity, devotion, kindness, and commitment to sharing the good news of Jesus. The feast day of St. Barnabas is June 11th. St. Barnabas is the patron saint of our congregation. That means that St. Barnabas was chosen to be a special inspiration to us. And the biggest way that St. Barnabas is an inspiration is that he's a reminder to be an encourager. So that was some information about St. Barnabas. And if you notice, the last thing I said was be an encourager. That is the biggest way that our congregation is inspired by St. Barnabas, our patron saint, is to be an encourager. So I want to encourage you all to celebrate St. Barnabas on Thursday, on June 11th. And one way you can celebrate St. Barnabas is to think of ways to encourage other people. So maybe you'll send a letter to someone, or make a phone call, or send an email. Maybe you'll draw a picture for someone in your family. Maybe you'll do a special chore or something especially nice for someone. But think about ways that you can be an encourager to celebrate the feast day of St. Barnabas. Take care, guys.